The next day I actually, went to the medical examiner's office and identified her. So that's, I think, the moment it really hit. It is such a joy to work with these women. I learn more from them, I think, than they could ever learn from me. She said that she's never felt love like she did at our program. So we are in the living room of one of the 4 apartments that's in this building. And each of the 4 apartments is set up, the layout is the same. You've got the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen. And we've had like so many people donate, all these things. And, like I said, over 1,000 volunteers come through here to, renovate it. It is a 2-year residential program for adult survivors of human trafficking. When they started it years ago, they realized there was a gap in services, and everyone was focused on helping children who had survived trafficking, which was needed as well, but then there was no place for women to go who were adults who had been trafficked as children or as adults, but they still needed somewhere to go to heal and get the help that they needed. So all of our funding comes from private donors, grants, things like that. And then down here are 2 bedrooms and the bathroom. So each apartment, has been like set up and decorated with like so much love, so much thought like went into the color schemes, if they were going to be, calming colors, or if they would be comfortable and relaxing. Just, so much thought. Being able to give unconditional love to them, is the most rewarding job you could ever have. And watching them learn that they're worth being loved like that, and seeing the changes in their hearts and in the way they act and everything is just, it's beautiful. I think the pornography world has made things so, like anything sexual goes, it's all okay. And so boys are just as susceptible as girls are to being trafficked. Now, statistically, it's hard to follow because, just like with sexual assault, men don't report a lot, because of the stigmas that are put on men. They may not be as macho or something if they had this happen to them. And I think the sexual assault and human trafficking awareness community has been doing a really good job at highlighting the fact that it's okay for a boy or a man to come forward and say that they were a victim of something and that there's help for them too, People are a product of their environment, and it's just a sad fact. And a lot of kids and music and media glorify pimping so much. It's still like the most popular Halloween costume every year is the pimp and hoe together. So glorifying it like that, making it like it's a joke or something fun is really dangerous. There's also websites that teach people how to be pimps. There's one called Pimp Feet or something like that. And it literally tells you the steps on how to mentally break down a woman and get her to a point where she'll do whatever you want her to do. Yep, we barbecue back here, hang out back here, just enjoy the beautiful scenery and the nice weather. The world has just made all of this seem so okay. The woman who has passed away recently, actually, and I just remember she was traumatized really young, and even though she was an adult, it was like a 10-year-old little girl trapped in an adult's body, and she just needed help with everything. She had never had a chance to live on her own, so everything confused her and everything was messy, and so I spent a lot of time with her, and we became really close. And she always told me that I was her only family, and that I was it, and this program was it. And we were on our way to court one day. I was going to court with her to help her get out of some trouble, and she started crying. And sorry, I'm gonna start crying. And she said that she's never felt love like she did at our program, and that she didn't know that she could be loved that way. And she was just so thankful, and she was always so excited. She would come to all of our events with us and volunteer because she just loved being around us. We were her family, and she always expressed her appreciation for us, and wanted to graduate from our program and come back and work with us and help other women, and go speak at events and share her story and give other women hope. And that was the biggest connection I think I've ever had with any adult, to be honest. So honestly, like when I got the call, I didn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it was true, and I started trying to call her phone, to figure out like what was going on, and she wasn't answering. And then later on, I spoke to somebody and, found out it was true. And the next day, I actually, went to the medical examiner's office and identified her. So that's, I think, the moment it really hit. Yeah. I do this for people like her. I mean, it is such a joy to work with these women. I learn more from them, I think, than they could ever learn from me. Their strength and their resistance to the traumas that they've been through, and the family and the bond that's formed between all of us. I mean, it outweighs all of the negative things that can possibly happen, and I don't regret loving that woman and getting that close to her, even though I lost her and it was painful. I'll never regret knowing her and having like the honor to care for her and love her, the way she allowed me to. Our program is separated into 4 different phases. So phase 1, it's called Welcome to the Circle. And the circle is just our idea of the family, the community. The most important thing about the program is teaching them a new normal, like what life can look like outside of their trauma, Phase 2 is when they really start getting back into schooling if they want to, working, savings accounts. We teach them about financial planning. We print out their credit reports and help them, fix their credit if they need to. And then phase 3 is saving money, still going to school or work, still going to recovery, but it's more independent in phase 3. So if they need to go somewhere, they can, make transportation arrangements themselves. They're just more on their own. And phase 4 is a sister for life. So once they graduate from here, they're still part of our family. We don't just kick them out the door and we're like, see ya, they're literally a sister for life. We'll, help them if they need it, mentor them, still love them continuously. And the hope is, and a lot of them have voiced that they will graduate and then come and work with us and help new women who are coming into the program. So that's that's the hope of Hope Against Trafficking, is that they'll want to just stay with us forever.